Legends, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to come up with a basic little 5-sentence offer that you can use to turn followers into leads and eventually clients. The reason we're creating this training is because most trainers, you get a lot of people online that are posting a lot of content. They're doing a great job. Annalise was a great example of somebody who joined us recently. We showed her this skill set, and in the very same week, she's generated 42 leads and ended up booking 14 calls. You think 4 of them have already turned into clients.
Already more.
This is still in the process.
There's a few more.
A few more,
so it's like 7.
7 clients just from one single post, one simple offer that she's put out. So this is essentially going to be breaking down the process that we taught her and showing you guys how to do the same thing. Because the last thing you want to be doing is if you are putting time into creating content, posting on Instagram, posting on TikTok or Facebook or wherever it is, you want to make sure that it's producing your revenue as well. So.
Yeah, and people, if they don't know how to work with you, if they don't know how to take the next step, guys, don't just assume they know how to reach out to you. They need to know, right? Like,
yeah, you can't just assume that they're going to know what to do. Because again, people, I would say on Instagram, fucking in the scroll hole, right? They need to be reminded and told exactly what to do, and they need to be reminded all the time. We'll talk about this now, but we'll get into it for sure. One of the biggest things that I see, one of the biggest challenges, not just from personal trainers, but business owners in general, when they start learning how to market themselves on the internet. Like, you might be able to come up with a great offer, but then they post it once and then fucking don't do anything with it again. Like, Matt, if something works, do it as fucking much as possible as you can.
Look, this just brings up how many guys either when do I post it again? How do I, there's so many questions around, if you've got a great offer, we've used the same offer sometimes for how long?
Number of times.
6 months?
We had ads running with the same offer that was just, crushed it for 8 to 12 months.
Yeah. So yes, you need to recycle, and especially these guys are doing this organically, for example.
Yeah, you don't want to post the same thing over and over again. Equally, again, there's a line where, you can post the same thing a number of times before it tires out, before it fatigues and the market gets bored of it, of course.
Yeah.
And you will know when that happens because you won't get any responses from that. For some reason, I think that there's this fear around, if I post an offer and nobody responds, I'm going to annoy my audience. I'm going to be fuck off. Yeah. People get bombarded with advertisement and offers all the fucking time. They're not going to remember the fucking post that you put up. Even if they saw it just 30 seconds ago, they're already on to the next fucking cat video.
As long as you're, I think this is something I've learned, if you're creating content, firstly, make your content fucking good. And content, we keep saying it's not content, it's media, right? Create quality that people want to watch and it will be validated by the market, right? But if you're putting deposits, right? If you're doing a lot of content, if you're doing regular content, then you should every now and then be taking
little deposits in the savings
deposits,
bank.
right? Yeah, you should be able to take a withdrawal, and an offer is a version of a withdrawal. You've given all the value. Now it's time to ask, right? Which only makes sense.
You don't just want to post offers, but equally, there is a frequency at which offers will get boring after a certain amount of time if you're posting the same thing over and over again. So what I always tell people is think about it like a science experiment. Once you've got a hypothesis that is proven, how can you prove that and change some of the variables, right? And experiment with it. Treat it like an experiment. Maybe you try a different image, or maybe you try a different desire or a problem that you're talking about, or whatever it is. So I guess the biggest thing before we get into the 5 elements that you need to have in an offer and the framework and that sort of stuff is once you've got something that works, repeat it and do it until it stops working. Because then when it stops working, cool, now you can just create some sort of new or different version of that thing because you've already figured out what the market's responded to. So let's create a slightly different version and try it. Maybe you do it instead of an image with a text post. Maybe you do it as a reel or a carousel. Or you've got so many different variables to play with. So once you land on something that works, do it over and over again and come up with ways to experiment and create newness in that.
So I'd love you to break this down, mate.
Yeah, let's get into the 5 different elements that really go into an offer. So the first one is target market. Or your niche, right? Your niche should be I mean, we did a whole video on this just before. So like you can go and find that on the YouTube channel. It's probably somewhere around. Go to the YouTube channel, have a look at that. Your target market should not be something like men between the ages of 35 and 55. It needs to be something that people identify with, and it needs to be something that is specific, okay? So if you're not sure about what your niche should be or who to choose or how to communicate your niche, go to our YouTube channel, go and find the video on how to choose a niche. So that's the first component. We need to make sure that people know who it's for, right? The second component is an escape from hell, right? An escape from hell. The hell is the problem they're experiencing right now. So you need to give them an escape from that. You need to give them a solution to that, okay? Third thing, entrance. Do you ever go from like lowercase to uppercase while you're writing? It's so fucking annoying. Entrance to heaven, right? The third thing is an entrance to heaven, because while people have problems and things that they're currently experiencing that they want to get away from, they also have desires and wants and things that they want to achieve, outcomes they want to have. Okay, so that's what heaven is. Fourth thing, there's kind of three components to the fourth thing. We basically want to have a time frame, right? Because it gives the problem that we're solving and the desire we're helping them achieve, it gives that context. It gives it it gives it more meaning, because if you can help somebody achieve this outcome or solve this problem in this time frame, in 30 days or in 12 weeks or whatever it is, it helps add a lot of credibility and believability to
and I want that. Like, yes. I want that result.
Because what it implies is that it's happening fast. And it's easy, it's fast, right? So time frame / without / even if, right? So you'll see this all come together in the framework, in the template, but the idea is we're solving this problem, we're helping them achieve this result in this time frame without these things, even if they have XYZ obstacle. Make sense?
Yeah.
Lastly is the CTA, call to action, okay? Doesn't have to be anything fancy. We'll show you how to do it. Get in the framework?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go through it.
So this is the template, right? And you can again, this is just a starting point. This doesn't have to be the rule or reason. There's so many different ways to do these things. There's so many different variables that you can test. These red words are the things that you want to treat as placeholders, essentially. So you want to enter the things in here that are relevant to your niche, but you can also change all of this blue stuff to come up with different things as well. So this says, I'm opening up some slots to help 5 more niche. You could say, I'm starting a new case study, or I'm running a challenge, or I'm doing this thing, or whatever it is. The general framework is, this is what's happening, this is what's good about it, call to action, okay? So I'm opening up some slots to help 5 more niche, right? So let's say, for example, we're just going with the broad niche of men for right now, right? I'm opening up some slots to help 5 more men escape hell, right? So you want to put a really specific problem in there of like, you know, the thing that they want to move away from. So that might be lose 5 to 10 kilos. It might be lose the beer gut. It might be lose the man boobs, whatever it is, right? Talk about that thing there, the big main problem. You want to choose the thing that they are thinking about most. A lot of trainers get stuck in the mistake of talking about things like that are not the thing that their target market's thinking about most. So it might be feeling more confident, or it might be even getting out of pain, or, you know, solving their knee pain or back pain. Yes, that's physically painful, but the challenge is there's a reason these people are overweight. It's because they don't really care as much about their health as they do about how they look, right? That's the reason. So these people, I say these people, I mean fucking everybody. Like most people, we're all creatures of ego. We all care about our emotional egoic needs first before we care about, you know, the physical, most people. There's rules for the exception, of course. So we want to sell them what they want and give them what they need. Don't slip into the mistake of fucking like talking about what they need, because what they need might be learning how to eat better, learning how to train, like doing some fucking exercise. It's the plane ticket. It's not actually the destination. You don't want to talk about the plane ticket. You want to talk about the destination, the thing that you're helping them get to.
Oh, Matt, that's what personal trainers so struggle with, even in their content.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about offers, but this is like, stop. Like, if your clients aren't in the gym, stop talking about deadlift.
Exercise for
Like, stop. They're not there. They're not even in the gym. In fact, you know what? It's making them feel even worse. They feel shame now because they're not in the fucking gym and they're watching it and they're like, I fucking don't need to see that shit.
Adam Sullivan's a great example of somebody who makes great content for and meets his target market where they are. Right? He's not in, you don't ever see him doing exercise form videos. Not once. There's a reason he's built the audience that he has and has the success that he has with his business, because the content that he's creating, one, it's funny and it's entertaining, but two, it's relevant to the conversation that's already going on in the target market's brain. It's relevant to what they're already thinking about. He's not talking about fix your back pain and like he's talking about fucking spin kicks and fucking calorie deficits and like how to like simple swaps to still enjoy your life, but also lose some fucking weight. Like he's making it really easy for people. Okay. So anyway, back to this. Make this specific. Enter heaven is the desire, is the outcome. So that might be turn the man boobs into a set of pecs and make the missus drool. The idea is we want to paint a picture in their mind. If you can't point at it, if you can't draw it, it's not specific enough. So we need it to be really specific. If you need help with learning how to do that, go find the video on how to choose a niche. It'll walk you through an awesome process that will help you with this. So you've got your enter heaven. It could be, get a fuck me now physique. Again, that paints a picture, look better naked. It could be build a rig that's something along the lines of like building a body or a rig that causes you to get laid all the time.
Well, the missus can't keep their hands off.
Yeah, like paint the picture, right? That's what you want to do, is paint the picture. In under time frame. So this time frame, you obviously have to decide what that time frame is. The shorter it is, the better. So the time frame could be in 30 days, or what you can do is a sneaky trick that we use in marketing is basically division. It's real sneaky. But you say, instead of in 30 days, you could say in 30 minutes a day or in 10 minutes a day, depending on your method and how you actually help them get that outcome. Somebody like, for example, somebody that works with busy business owners, right, who don't have much time to put into doing these things and exercising, eating right, and that sort of stuff. One of the things that people can do, they can go and get the walking pad, and so while they're working, they can literally walk all fucking day. If they had 20,000 steps at the end of the day, you think that's going to fucking help them lose weight? That adds 0 time. So you could even say in under a minute a day, just to switch on the fucking walking pad.
Yeah, because you're already there and working anyway.
The lower that you can make the time frame, either by division or by thinking about how you actually get this outcome, the more desirable the offer will be. Right. Without, this is generally what we use to say you're not going to do the things that you don't want to do, essentially. So, for example, what do people assume they're going to have to do to get this result? So, for example, if you're telling them they're going to lose 5 to 10 kilos, drop the beer gut, and get a bicep vein, what they're going to assume that they're going to need to do is eat chicken and rice or fucking salads or nothing but salads, do a heap of cardio. What are those things that people generally assume that they're going to have to do, right? So without smashing yourself with cardio and eating salads every meal, something along those lines. Even if is where we include the obstacles that they have. So again, if there's somebody that's busy, right? Say for example, they work and they've got kids, even if you don't have 5 minutes to scratch your ass between work and the kids, right? It's taking into account the conversation already going on in their mind, which makes it more relevant and means that they're actually going to pay attention to it, right? The key with these things is you don't have to use both. And my background's in copywriting, right? So I've had thousands and thousands of reps of writing offers, writing ads, writing landing pages. When you're learning this skill, and this applies to offers, but it also applies to content, anything that you've written, read it out loud to yourself. And you will find the parts that sound like shit and will make it very obvious to you. That way you can edit those parts and then smooth it out. So that way, like maybe by having the without and the even if, it might be too wordy and it might be really fucking long drawn out sentence. And so it might be really hard to read and you stumble over your words. Take note of that Maybe it means removing these two things. Maybe you don't have those in there. Because again, if people don't read it because it's too hard to read, it doesn't matter how fucking good your offer is. So it's going to be easy to read as well. Lastly, comment info for more details. That's the CTA, really simple. You can say, would you like to join us? You could say, comment some other keyword there. It doesn't really matter. Tell them what to do. Don't say DM you though. The challenge with getting people to DM you is that, yes, it's easier for them to do it because they feel like maybe other people are not going to see that they've commented on your offer. But the challenge is that you're not getting the engagement on the offer, which means it's getting less reach and not as many people are seeing it. And it means that it doesn't have the social proof of all the other people commenting on the offer saying, and when somebody does come across the offer, if they see 10, 20, 30 other people commenting on it, it's way more credible. There's all that social proof. There's a whole bunch of other people that want this. I'm going to do it as well. So that's why we want people to comment. That's the framework.
Dude, that is so valuable. I can't explain how you talk a lot about marketing comes down to two things at a really basic level. It's content and it's offers. And if you can tell I run a business from a beautiful new home where my kids are home from fucking school holidays, if you can hear that, it's like they're jumping on the roof.
Jungle gym up there.
They're upstairs like losing the plot. If you can get those content and offers, and the magic of marketing is offers. If you can do that, you can get all of the hard work, you can get people to put up their hand. And one of the things, like guys, I've been more so on the sales side of growing businesses and helping PTs. If then that can, people are usually one conversation away from wanting to do something. So if you know that someone's on a buying cycle, anyone out of 100%, probably only 3% are ready to buy the thing right now. But this gives them a really safe way to like, I want a bit more info. Well, there's probably another 40 to 50% of people that are, they're interested, and they may need to have a conversation with you to know if it's right for them. So this is how it gets them to want to put their hand up. It's a hand raised, and then you do the job of...
It's permission. It's asking permission before we start selling them.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people, if they teach you cold DMs and that sort of thing, you go on like, hey, like, and you're just like pitching in the DM. You don't want to be doing that. You want permission from somebody first. You want to make sure that they're actually interested before you start pitching them and selling them shit, right? This is a great way to do it. It gets people to raise their hand and say, yes, I'd like more info. Then you can have a conversation. If you're good at your sales process, that becomes really easy to turn those people into clients. If you're not good at your sales process, there's some resources down below that you can use to figure that sort of stuff out and understand what you need to do to take somebody from not knowing you to knowing you, liking you, trusting you, giving them an offer, booking them in for a call, doing that sort of stuff. There's a few resources down below that you can check out. Other than that, thanks for joining us, team. It was a pleasure, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.